It wasn't the result that we all hoped for, but everything is still to play for. I guess this is still the podcast of champions, technically. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. I mean, I'm here. Hey, everybody. Ray is missing this week because he said his family is more important or something. But I am joined by some fun people, and let's bring them on. Larry, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. It's been a while since I've seen your face.
Yeah, I had to miss a couple of weeks, but I'm back now and better than ever. So I'm feeling good, and I want to talk some OCSC soccer, although not a very exciting game to talk about. We'll start off with that right there. Who else is with us tonight?
You're just doing my job for me. Brad from Las Vegas. Hi, Brad.
Hello, man. I'm not used to going second, or third, last, whatever it is. Usually Larry goes after me. This is different and new.
I just went with the order that I knew it was going to pop up in, or that you were in beforehand. Whatever. Hey, I just saw an Orange County game. Larry sees a lot of Orange County games, and Brad's about to see an Orange County game. But more on that later. I will give you 30 seconds to talk about this weekend. Random thoughts, 5 words max.
Not very exciting at all.
Great. Brad?
I had soccer inception.
I don't know where to go with that. Hey, Orange County 0, Monterey Bay FC 0. This was it looked like neither team was ready to really risk conceding all the way, but Orange County certainly looked the team that was more likely to concede. And shout out to man of the match, Colin Shuttler, because he did well. I think Monterey had 6 shots on target, and he was there for him. Granted, a couple of them were right at him, but it didn't take long, and it looked like I don't know if it was the cold or what, but Orange County wasn't really up for it. Brad, having watched this one from afar, what are your thoughts from this match?
Yeah, so I had the pleasure of watching this while watching another soccer match. I went to the Vegas game this past weekend to do some scouting, hence the soccer inception. Honestly, not much to say offensively this game. It wasn't that Orange County didn't create or didn't put shots on or didn't test the Monterey Bay keeper. Monterey just had the better of chances, and both goalies really did an amazing job of keeping any chances out. So, kudos to Orange County for not conceding. A lot of that does fall on the man of the match, Colin Shuttler, as you said. Monterey Bay created a lot of opportunities, and you almost felt with, the last 15, 20 minutes that a goal was going to occur in this game. Either way of the game, it was just, that contested. Both teams wanted it until I would argue like the 95th minute, when it was clearly obvious that both teams were like, you know what, we'll settle for a point. I think both teams in this case aren't happy with the draw, but are definitely happy that they didn't concede and lose, because a draw keeps both teams in playoff contention. Orange County, I still think, occupies that cutoff spot. However, this upcoming game is going to say a lot about the playoff standings. Monterey Bay does a good job of, I think, creating the best chances, like you had alluded to earlier, off the post, like you see here in the 33rd, 34th minute, I think it is. I don't really know what else to say about this game. I think Pedro Guimaraes, I said that right, I think, had another pretty good game. The 16-year-old is proving that he's capable of good starting minutes.
I will second. Yeah, I will follow up. Orange County is still in 8th on 32 points now, 4 points back of Phoenix, who they play, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And Phoenix has the match in hand as well. Monterey still in 11th on 30 points. They're technically not mathematically safe from going bottom, but El Paso doesn't seem like they're going to get anything out of this year. Larry, we talked about Pedro Guimaraes as apparently what has been passed along from Pedro. So we were all wrong, and especially myself. My apologies, Pedro. We had a little bit of a conversation about this on Saturday night, but what'd you see from the youngster this weekend?
I like watching. I like watching this kid play. He's going to make mistakes. He's 16 years old. That 16-year-olds make mistakes. I know. I live with one. Boy, does he make mistakes. Of course, when Grayson makes a mistake, it's not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. Pedro makes a mistake, it could cost the team a game. I think this young man has a very, very bright future in this sport. He is talented. He is smart on the ball, makes good, crisp, clean passes, as we saw from the stat line, which I could pull that back up, but I'm not going to right now. I think it's going to be fun to see how guys like him, Ben Norris, who just turned 18 last month. It's going to be a lot of fun the next couple of years to follow them and see how their careers go, in much the same way as a Correde Osundina or a Kobe Henry. These guys are over there playing in Europe, and I think in another couple of years we're going to see guys like Pedro. And I'm not even going to try to say his last name, Pedro, or Pedro's mom and dad. If y'all are watching, I'm sorry. My tongue gets a little bit too twisted on that one, but I can say Pedro, no problem. I think it's going to be a lot of fun watching these young men over the next few years. As for this game in general, Monterey, 17 shots. I think it was 8 shots on goal versus we had 8 shot attempts and only 2 on goal. This is not a great performance from us. I felt like this was 2 teams who having a very tough time scoring and wanted to make sure that at all cost they didn't concede, because they know that they're having a hard time scoring. And that's the battle that we watched. We watched a battle of, instead of 2 teams trying to win, we watched a battle of 2 teams trying not to lose.
That's a pretty fair statement. I think obviously Orange County has much more to lose than Monterey in this situation. And, I think late on it kind of got to that point. Having been in that stadium, Cardinale Stadium, the momentum was really never with Orange County. It never felt like Orange County was going to do anything. It was all Monterey. And really credit to their fans and the club for getting, really something going there. And, it wasn't a hostile place to go visit for sure, but it never really, Orange County felt like they were the passengers of this one, unfortunately. As we bring up the
Brad, did you just
Game Flow XG? Great, love it. We're really on it tonight, so that's wonderful. And Ray's not even here.
Cheers.
A Cameron-esque show, if there ever was one. 2 XG for the hosts and just 0.44 XG for the visitors in Orange County. So not great. And I think one of the biggest chances was from somebody else I actually wanted to talk about really quickly, Ryan Dogman. Played as a left midfielder in this match. Probably had Orange County's best chance on goal as well. Brad, really quickly, how are you feeling with a more advanced Ryan Dogman?
I think last week's game was a lot more impressive out of Ryan Dogman in the advanced position. I don't know what the answer was for this week that caused a significant drop in expected performance, because you saw last week and the week before, Dogman up advance was creating a lot more opportunities, was a lot more forward thinking, and here kind of just got lost. I don't know if it was just turning the ball over in the midfield a little bit more, or nothing was there in the final third, be it, Among was very anonymous this game. The only highlight I had was, oh, he's starting good. I think it's going to be an improvement. Probably jinxed it there. Um, I don't know what the answer is, because especially against Phoenix, especially later on in the season with the very few games we have left, the answer definitely isn't how many goals can Orange County look to stop every week. Because once when you look past Phoenix, you got Las Vegas Lights who look on fire right now. You have Colorado Springs who have seen a resurgence up the table to second place this year. And then you have New Mexico who's at the top 2 weeks later. It's going to be a very, very tough end of season. And that past game against Monterey was one that we needed to win.
It's all still to play for. It's all to do for Orange County. Larry, you had some thoughts about the rest of the year.
Yeah, I do. And Brad, you gave a great lead in without even knowing. I had Andy make up a couple of slides for me. So if you can bring up that first, there we go. August 24th, 1 month ago, this is our injury list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players on that injury list. And we know that earlier in the season, it was even longer. Can you bring up number 2, producer Andy? All right. Here's September 15th. Just 3 names. It's looking a lot better. And can you bring up the last one, Andy? That's it. One guy, Brian Olowski, whom we know is out for the season. So we've got all of our players back. So my question to you, Brad, and to you, Dylan, we have 5 games left in the season against all teams that are above us. Far, some of them a long way above us. Is it too little, too late? Or does this team have it in them to pull this out and do something special to end this season? Dylan, I'll go to you first.
I like that you asked me. I don't play on Saturdays or Wednesdays or Tuesday or any days, actually, for this club. I think you should ask the players. But I will say it's not over until we're out. And the last time this league underestimated us, we ended up with a star over a badge, and we ended up with a bunch of players holding a cup and getting drunk in St. Pete, Florida. So, look, once it's over, I'll say, no, we don't have it. But until that point, yeah, everybody keep on doubting.
I will throw a little bit back at you with this. I definitely think the team has gotten a lot healthier. However, we're still seeing, I don't think it's ideal to start a 16-year-old who you signed a couple weeks ago at left back in the later part of a season. However, he's played well, made mistakes, like you said, but played well. But out of on that first list, I still don't see a lot of those players back in the 18. I don't think we're going to see Charlie Asensio with his shoulder injury that's kept him out for most of the year. Ben Barjolo is someone who I thought would be back. However, he's probably more of the academy side at this point in the year. Ashish Chada is not in the 18. And Kevin Partita is back and immediately got a yellow. The most Kevin Partita thing you can do. It's nice to see these names back because the team is definitely better for having them. However, I need to see these players play. I need to see Ashish play because I definitely think that he's an upgrade over 62 minutes of Seth Kasipli. I love Seth Kasipli to death, but I think Ashish Chada coming in for Seth Kasipli over someone like Agart or Zubac is probably a little bit better for Orange County. So I don't know if he's healthy. You'll see. Definitely a lot better position health-wise to answer your question a little better than where we were a month and a half ago. And this team's really good at making a late game push. We did it in 2021, like Dylan said.
All right. Thank you guys for addressing that. I'll throw my 2 cents in on this. There is so much talent on this squad, and the squad has underperformed all year. We are just about, the team holds their fate in their own hands. Every team always does. But when you have 5 games left and you got 4 of those teams are against division opponents who are all sitting above you, you can make or break yourself. 4 games against 4 teams in the Western Division, 10, 12 points, would go a long way to start a good playoff push that the club keeps talking about. Will it be enough? I think the team's going to squeak into the playoffs. Can we make any noise in the playoffs? That's another question altogether. They're not going to make a lot of noise if they don't put the ball in the back of the net, which has been obviously a problem all year long. So hopefully that starts to happen. Hopefully these guys who are just coming back from these injuries are going to be fully up to speed so that when we do get into the playoffs as the number 8 or the number 7 or God willing number 6, then these guys are fully up, fully ready to go to make that push into latter part of October, beginning of November, and maybe a championship out in somewhere in the East, because it looks like the East is going to be the way to go through this year.
I forgot to submit a prediction for this, but certainly we have some prediction stuff to talk about, or so I hope. Brad, would you like to let us know how things are going?
Yeah, I will quickly focus at the top end of the channel. So Taylor scored 0 this week. Doors wide open. Kayvon caught up a little bit with, I think, just 1 point from his draw. So he's within a full game. If Taylor were to drop the ball again, say this week, and Kayvon gets a perfect prediction, he's in first. As for our team, I'm not too far behind from the podium position. I'm less than a game out from third place, but really it's up to Taylor to lose, and Kayvon and Michael are there as well.
Thank you. I didn't realize we didn't have the slide, but that's okay because we had some fancy slides about us finally getting healthy. This is probably it for the Monterey match, but hey, we're back in business almost right away. Phoenix is coming to town. First off, weird start time, 7:30. So if you're headed there, 1, it's not too late to get tickets, and 2, you should probably get tickets because these matches always end up being good. 3, don't show up half an hour early and then be upset. Phoenix comes down. Phoenix is 1 point ahead of us. They are sitting in 7th. As I mentioned before, they got a game in hand and a few points in hand as well. Brad, as the resident desert liver of the 3 of us currently on the show, just, how have things been going?
What was the question again? Sorry, all I heard was desert liver. Yeah, like I'm a lizard or something.
Are you not? How have things been going for Phoenix this season?
Really? You think I live in that desert? No. Phoenix this year, I mean, looks almost as inept as we are, yet they somehow find themselves, I believe, slightly above us in the channel or in the table, as you alluded to earlier. Really, they're doing everything right now to kind of capitalize on winning games that they should be winning. They beat Tulsa 1-0. They beat Loudoun 1-0. They lost to Sacramento, but I think that one's a little bit more forgivable from a perspective of looking at the table. And then they absolutely walloped San Antonio 4-0. So a lot going on there. They clearly have unlocked how to score, where we have not. And the only positive thing I have to share about this is it's a midweek game on a Wednesday. I don't know how many Phoenix fans are going to travel to the Champ for a midweek fixture, because they have in the past, and they've always traveled well because we're geographically one of their closest opponents.
Yeah. Look, they play Orange County, and then they immediately play Las Vegas after that. So it's really all to do in the bottom half of the playoff places this week, really. Larry, you're no stranger to this team. You're no stranger to Phoenix Orange County matches. What are you expecting out of this match?
I'm excited for this match, but there's something really strange that I wanted to point out. If y'all can go and look at the table right now, okay? Phoenix has played 27 games, 9 wins, 9 losses, 9 draws, 27 goals for, 27 goals against. That's one of those weird anomalies that you see sometimes in sports. Phoenix is a good club. I think that they made a huge mistake letting Danny go so early in the season after he led them to a trophy last year. So thank you, Phoenix, for doing that. We appreciate that. We'll go ahead and take that, and hopefully he can bring us a lot of success moving forward. They have been up and down all year, as shown by their 9-9-9. My concern, of course, for this game is they have been scoring goals of late, and we have not. I think they've only lost once in their last 5 with 3 wins and a draw, something along those lines. And we've struggled all year long. So this is going to be a good game. It's going to be your very typical Orange County Phoenix Rising game. It's going to get chippy. It doesn't matter if this is 5 years ago and Aiden Quinn is playing for us, or if it's 3 years ago and Aiden Quinn is playing for them. It's going to get chippy out there because that's what Orange County and that's what Phoenix do when they play each other. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun night. Hopefully we can get a lot of fans out on a Wednesday night to Irvine to watch this game. Get loud, make some noise. Let's get some energy behind our boys and take home at least a point. Maybe we get 3. Let's hope for 3.
About the chippiness, Danny Stone obviously let go by Phoenix. Clearly things have gotten so much better without him. So that says to me, he probably wasn't the problem. Ryan Flood allowed to go on loan to us and actually getting some playing time and some regular playing time at that. Do either of you foresee sort of like a, oh, hey, thanks, like let me prove you wrong situation going on with those two this weekend?
I would think so. I know my mentality. And having played sports my whole life, I would absolutely be doing everything I could to, hey, let me stick this up let me show you why you made a mistake not keeping me in-house. So I think Danny's going to have this team ready to go Wednesday night. I think Ryan's going to come out there. I'm even going to go so far as to make a prediction and say that Flood, assuming that he's in the 18, at some point when he comes in, he's going to score his first goal for us because he's been close. He's been close a bunch of times. He's had some good shots on goals. He's had a couple where he's, taken a flyer and kicked a 43-yard field goal. But I think we're going to see something special Wednesday night. I think we're going to see two guys who started the year in Phoenix and now they're in Orange County. And I think those two in particular are going to be fired up for this game.
Yeah, I mean, I will go ahead and double down on that fired up. It seems every time we face Phoenix, the stakes are somewhere in between the stratosphere and outer space. Because let's be honest, there's probably no bigger stakes in the playoffs on the line this late in the season where every game matters and both teams are on that playoff line bubble. So you're going to see what is already considered a rivalry that gets very chippy with extra added stakes. I'm expecting at least 1 red card this game, and I'm hoping it's not Kevin Partita because on the list of Kevin to earn one, it's Kevin Partita or whoever that punk is from Phoenix that always seems to get into fights with us.
That's the whole team. Well, I would normally say Carlos Harvey, but I believe he's wandered off into the Great North or something.
Yeah, and as for Partita, I'm pretty sure that Mona is about to she's about ready to give birth anytime. So, he may not be there because he's out of hospital having the birth of his second child. So, so Kevin, if you're listening out there tonight and you are playing Wednesday night, you need to stay for the whole game, buddy, because we need you and we love you.
Hey, and if he's not, I'm sure he'll be watching the game from the hospital on TUDN. So if you can't make it on Wednesday night, yes, that's where you can find it. Watch it. Pick up some Spanish while you're at it. What I will mention about this game, Orange County has won 1 of the last 5 meetings between these sides. And Brad, although it does feel like there's always a red card in this, there's actually only been 1 red card in the last 5 matches. So, but I think usually it's like 7 yellows. So
yeah,
it's
I'm willing to wager on a red card in this game. I think it's going to get really chippy. I think someone's going to do something stupid.
That's right. It's that desert that you live in, the betting desert. I see. Okay. Gentlemen, let's get some score predictions for this one. While we do that, the last 2 matches here have been 2-1 victories for Phoenix, and before that it was 1-1. So with that, and the fact that Orange County has averaged 1 goal a game throughout the season, and Phoenix has literally scored and conceded an even amount of goals this season, what is this, 1-1? Is this 0-0? What's going on here, Larry?
I'm going to stick with the 2-1 trend, but I think this time around, I think it's going to be 2-1 Orange County. We have to have 3 points. We cannot afford a loss. OCSC cannot afford a loss. I don't think we can afford a tie. I think we have to have a win in this particular game because there's still a couple teams that are just sitting below us on goal difference, or something, or maybe a point or so off. The team cannot afford to open the door for those teams right now that are sitting in 9th and 10th and 11th place, because everybody except El Paso is still in the playoff hunt. They have a reasonable shot. And if we give up points, then we can't give away points at this point. So 2-1 Orange County. We'll call it Flood is going to score, and I'm going to go with Tomas. Gets himself back onto the back into the score sheet.
I will just quickly remind you that we don't do the score. You don't get any extra points for picking the score anymore. Brad.
Yeah, but I get bragging rights next Monday if I'm right.
Brad, who's winning this match?
I don't even want to put a wager in on who's winning the match. I will say Phoenix 2 red cards, Orange County 1 red card.
We typically score this with the actual goals.
You have to remember, I also live out in the desert where fight night, Saturday nights, is a thing. Now, I'm just translating it out to Wednesday. I'm expecting to see some UFC style action out there. If I have to give an actual score prediction, I'll say 1-1, but I'm very unhappy with the 1-1. I just look realistic here.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is going to be. I think this is going to end 2-1. I'm going to say Orange County because I'm a homer. Look, I think
you were thinking of saying the other way, weren't you?
I think it basically comes down to whoever's pushing for a goal. If it's 1-0 and you're pushing to get it to 1-1, that other team's going to score, and then maybe you'll get one back. So whoever's pushing is going to put risks at the back. We saw this over the weekend in Monterey. It was Pedro Guimaraes and Owen Lamb pushing really far up when we were in possession, and kind of leaving a core 4 of the 2 central midfielders and then 2 center backs a little bit exposed at the back. But hey, we got to take some chances here because we got to get some good results and just get a little bit of distance. Again, all we need to be is 8th place. Higher is better, but let's make sure it's at least 8th place in this one. Okay. Gentlemen, anything else you want to talk about this match? Or for this match?
Before this match?
Yeah, any final thoughts about this match against Phoenix?
Just fans, the team has struggled this year. The team has not lived up to the expectations that we all wanted them to have this year. Hey, you know what? It happens like that sometimes. Last year, the Texas Rangers won the World Series. This year, the Texas Rangers aren't even going to be in the playoffs. They were eliminated the other day. Stick by the team. Keep coming out. Do not stop supporting. I know it's Wednesday night. I know it's a school night. I know it's a work night. But you know what? Come out, watch, cheer, make noise, get these boys fired up because they can hear us. They have talked to us about it. They've talked to me about it on the sidelines. They've talked to Andy. They've talked to all of us who are out there that they can hear us, and they get their energy from the crowd. They get their energy from the the County Line Coalition. Yes, I know it's not a baseball podcast, but that's okay. I'm just trying to make some correlations in life in general. Don't stop supporting the team no matter what. Even if at the end of the season we ain't in the playoffs, hey, we're not in the playoffs. It happens. Team had some rough breaks this year. Don't stop supporting. Keep coming out. Keep making noise. Let's help these boys get 3 points.
Yeah, I'm going to echo Larry there. 100%. The one thing that I find really attractive about this league is the fact that you can sit on the sidelines in pretty much any stadium and you get to know the actual players. And it's so much easier to root for a team when you physically know and get to communicate with the players, which is why even though my team in Reno folded a couple years ago, I found another team. I went to a game out here in Vegas and was able to converse with multiple players, including multi-time MVP Salo Asante, which I think is really cool. And not to mention, they just play better when you're cheering for them. And the Champ is probably one of the better stadiums in the league that I've ever been to. And I've been to probably about a dozen or 16 of the stadiums in this league. So go out, support the team. This is going to be a good game. And more importantly, this is probably one of the most important games of the season. Because yes, every other game is a must win, but you have to start with this one. And when the team hasn't looked as good as they have, every little bit of support helps.
I love it. I just want to say, in the wise words of County Line Coalition, while Wednesday night comes up, screw school and work, all right? Josh, shout out to you. Ditching work, bringing your son. Son's missing soccer practice. We love it. Larry, we'll see you there on Wednesday night.
Yes.
Gentlemen, did we learn anything this episode? Brad, did you learn anything? Perhaps you did pick up how to say Pedro Guimaraes' last name correctly.
Yeah, I was so confident. That was exactly what I was going to say I learned. I was so confident that I was like, bam, I nailed it based on what you said last week, only for you to immediately turn around and say, well, I was wrong. And I'm like, I was so confident. I even said, boom, I got it in the middle of the episode. So I was like, as soon as you turned around and said, it's Guimaraes, I'm like, well, see, this is why we don't listen to Dylan here.
Yeah, I'm apologize. I should have US soccered and just continued saying it wrong and just acted like everything was normal.
Hey, just stick with it.
Did you learn it this week?
No, I didn't, but there's something I forgot to bring up, so I apologize. Wednesday night happens to be my wife's birthday, and she can choose anywhere in the world to be, and she is choosing to be at the OCSC game. Now, the last time an OCSC game fell on her birthday was a Saturday night in 2021. You guys won't remember it, but I remember it as clear as day. That was the game when it was a 1-1 tie, and we were in the 89th, 90th minute, and we had a corner, and the corner came in, and Dylan Powers got a piece of it, and he found Miko Kunigas right in the front of the box, who blasted it in for the go-ahead 2-1 goal. He came running over, jumped the barrier, came running literally right into my arms, falling halfway over that railing over there in general admission. So the last time it was her birthday, we won. Orange County Soccer Club won in spectacular fashion. So when we win in spectacular fashion on Wednesday night, you can all thank me for bringing her to the game. You're welcome.
Man, that was like a love story out there. Taylor Swift needs to take notes for her amateurist romances, because Miko Kunigas and Larry Butterfist, you know.
It was beautiful. I still have that picture too.
I'm so happy for you. Look, I think I called it out a couple weeks ago. The history of Orange County getting a game against Las Vegas, the history of not giving up, the history of players who haven't scored in a while scoring goals. I have seen so much negativity this year, and I think if you listen to this year, I'm not acting like everything is fine, but it's okay. We're still in it. We can still do something. Let's carry that energy into the stadium on Wednesday night. Let's carry that energy into an away match next week. Let's carry that energy through the rest of the season until it's done, because it's not that hard. And honestly, let's get behind the boys. They deserve it. Brad, you can have 35 seconds to talk about your beloved Everton.
Oh, how'd you
So
know?
welcome.
Based on me begging for soccer news in the pre-show, just want to say thank you to the Friedkin Group for freeing me of Farad Moshiri. Pending PL League approval. But hopefully Everton is back. On that graph of like we're back, we're not back, we're so back. I think this is like the third time this season I have mentioned it. We're back.
And what is the moral of the story here? It's that we're back. Orange County's back. Look, we're not Everton. Things could be worse. And we wear orange, so we're infinitely better than them. Gentlemen, thank you for being on the show tonight. Short show, but I'm sure we'll have so much to talk about. And Ray will have butterflies and other nonsense to talk about next week. Thank you for being here on your Monday night. This has been the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out.